Want zhuzh.
She has a little bit of purple, but her body may
Purple!
Yay!
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty Moss of Moss Photography, and today I have the amazing Rosie Bitts with me.
Yay! Hey everybody! Hello! Thanks for having me, Misty.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. So this is my business partner in hosting retreats. We are doing our first one in Tofino, and we just wanted to start making some little videos together and talking about our favorite subjects. Today we're going to be talking about burlesque, body love, tantra. There was another B in there that I forgot.
Boudoir.
Boudoir.
Boobs and butts.
How did I forget boudoir?
Tantra is not a B, but we'll throw it in there because it's just, you know, it's filled with B's as well.
It is, and that's what Rosie does, and she's amazing at it.
Yeah. So we want to talk about the intersection, about how these things intersect and how they can really transform your life. And, you know, this is what in our retreats specifically, so we do this in our own businesses, in our own world. This is like the love and the passion that we both have in the work that we do in the world. But we're bringing it all together, and we really want to share with you how that can create deep transformation.
Mm-hmm. And how it's also changed our lives and our stories as well.
That's how we know that it can create the transformation, because we're it. Boom!
Yeah,
we did it.
Experienced it.
Well, plus, you know, hundreds, maybe thousands of other people.
So I'll start with my origin story. A lot of clients always ask me how I got started in boudoir photography, and the answer is I actually did burlesque first. With Rosie, she was my teacher and my mentor, and she taught me everything that I know and got me on stage for the first time. And burlesque was an incredibly transformative space. It was just an amazing experience. I really got to see somebody emulating body love for the first time so unapologetically in you, because I had never had like a self-love mentor before, and through that I got to witness everybody on stage just celebrating their bodies and really just being their most authentic selves. And then I got to feel that when I got on stage, and when you get on stage you're just present. You're just so fully present in your body. You're fully just embodying the version of yourself that you want to be. You're so powerful. You're not worrying about like what's jiggling or how this looks. You're just so in the moment. And I started photographing burlesque performers and realizing that I could share that feeling of absolute empowerment with other people through boudoir photography. So that's kind of how those two led into each other.
And it's been such a beautiful journey for me, like watching what Misty has done and how she took that feeling and has really not just like embraced it. Like I'm remembering like how vulnerable you were when you came to classes, how you were worried, as everybody was in the class. She was not on her own, but worried about like, oh, like am I a bit too fluffy? I think that's what you said to me, right? Like maybe maybe I need to lose some weight. I was like, bitch, no. I was like, nah.
Now those words would never leave my mouth.
Those words never in a million years.
I would be like, excuse you. No.
But like that's the way everybody feels coming in, right?
Totally.
Because that's the pressure that we've been put under, that if you're going to be getting naked on stage, if you're going to be feeling love for your body, you have to be perfect, you have to look a certain way, etc., etc. And so to see how Misty has like taken that, really it's transformed internally what she's been living and what her experience of the world has been, and then she's given it to other people, has been so inspiring for me. I have loved it, and I love the art she's creating with it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how I got into it? Well, yeah, my background too is like, it's a little bit longer, and it actually started pre-burlesque. So I got pregnant and had a child. I got pregnant at 19, I had a child just after my 20th birthday. And even at that point, I had been really looking for mentors in the world who could show me what it was to be a multifaceted woman. This was like in the mid-90s, like 1994, and there just wasn't that. Like as soon as I became a mother at 20, I was no longer sexy, I was no longer coquettish. I had moved from the maiden into the mother position, which meant my sexuality didn't exist anymore, right? And there was also no such thing as body love or the idea of body love, because suddenly now I had, you know, the perfect young body, what everybody wants to have. And I also didn't feel that that was a perfect young body before I had my child. But afterwards, suddenly I have cellulite, stretch marks over much of my body. I had, you know, gained, I had been 90 pounds, went up to like 160 in my pregnancy. And even after my pregnancy, I was considerably bigger. So I was jostling with all these things when there was like not a single person out there in the world that I could find pre-internet. I'm sure there were many. And so I was really like looking around to see who are my women mentors who can show me that you can be a mother, a businesswoman, a sex kitten, whatever you want.
Everything that you want.
And everything that you want as a femme being. And that was the beginning of what ended up creating the burlesque that I went into for myself, ended up creating the classes that I taught, and the way that I teach was from my searching. And I really didn't find like a whole group of people. I found bits and pieces. There was like Susie Bright in the 1980s. Naomi Wolf focused less on the sex stuff in the 90s, but she was at least out there. But it was harder to find, and it wasn't until I stepped into the burlesque world that I was like, holy shit, this is a whole bunch of people asking the same questions, searching for the same thing. And it actually has a history and a lineage of women being like, fuck you, I will do what I want, for years and years, for over, you know, at that point in time, well over 100 years, you know, since like the 1860s.
Yeah, I think Cherry Cheeks actually has a video on the history of burlesque, which we can plug.
Yay!
So you guys can go learn more.
Yeah.
I hope she does, otherwise I'm just plugging a video that doesn't exist, but I'm pretty sure that she does.
Yeah, I think she does too.
Yeah.
So that was like what brought me in. And then my love, the same thing, my love of being on stage and just how it cracked me open. Like it just cracked me open because nobody was doing this when we started. Well, there was people outside of our town, but nobody in our town was doing this. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I had a need for community myself, so I wanted to teach. And I also, much like you, wanted to give other people this feeling. I was like, this is something you can feel too.
Yeah, I think the community of burlesque is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like just having people who are also there to just feel love and feel supported and support others. The burlesque community is just so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, ours in particular.
Yeah,
I have to
really
plug.
special one.
Yeah, here on Vancouver Island in Victoria, BC, Canada, we have a very beautiful burlesque community, very inclusive, thoughtful.
Very thoughtful.
Burlesque community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
It is amazing. And then I mixed, Tantra was at first an extension and then actually has become foundational to the art I do and to the body love work I do, because it really integrates spirituality and sexuality and the healing part, the healing component that I couldn't put my finger on before. I knew there was a healing component because I could see everybody getting healed. I was getting healed. But once I studied Tantra, I was like, oh, this is what's happening.
You're able to put your finger on it.
Yeah, totally. So that's like how we put in all, and of course, the other B's of boobs and butts.
Boobs and butts.
Boobs and butts!
The video of all the things that are magical that are bees.
Yes, plus a T.
Plus a T. So that is our origin stories, and we wanted to talk about how we are using what we've learned in our journeys to help others kind of have the same transformational experience. So how can you take everything that we were just blabbing about and how can you implement it into your own life so that you too can feel empowered and badass and at home in your skin?
Totally. And maybe you don't have access to a burlesque community.
Yeah.
Or to a fancy boudoir photographer.
Or a tantrika.
Exactly. So how can you do this in easy, accessible ways for you? And I am going to I think you have a beautiful little course that you do, that you offer that actually is super tangible for people.
Totally. So I have a couple freebies, but my first thing is you guys exist in the world of the internet, which is so beneficial. This is something that was not available to Rosie when she started her burlesque journey because YouTube just hadn't been created yet.
No.
So the biggest bonus the biggest resource that you can use in discovering your yums and empowering yourself through burlesque, boudoir, and tantra is just hit the search bar in YouTube, find creators that inspire you, follow them on Instagram, come check us out, here's our handles. And yeah, see if they give away any freebies. I offer a self-love toolkit, which is totally free to download. It's just like a little journaling prompt that helps you kind of unearth things about yourself that you may have inherited and you want to unlearn. It's a good way to just kind of journal and set the intention for what you want to change internally in the dialogue that you want to reiterate with yourself. And it just kind of helps you start the journey of falling in love with your body.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
I also have a freebie, which is, I think it's 8 days. I'm trying to remember. What is it? It's 8 days of burlesque and tantra. So it's actually a pretty intensive little video journey. I think it may still be free, maybe, or it's cheap, like $15 or something on my website. But yeah, find that inspiration, but also start taking some time with yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I think that is the number one thing, is looking outward and then taking time with yourself to look inward. And one of the things that Misty is going to teach at the retreat that we're offering is what are they called? Solfies?
Solfies! I haven't decided on this term, but I'm kind of starting to adopt the term selfie for my self-portrait photography that I use to kind of just heal my relationship with my body, and I'm trying to teach others how to do that with theirs as well. So self-portraiture is a huge part of my art and my healing journey. You guys have seen videos on my channel before where I talk about this. It's just a really powerful way to look at yourself through a lens that you control, and you get to kind of create the outcome and set the intention for the entire session. So when somebody else is shooting you, that can be really lovely and can be very healing on its own. But doing your own self-portraits, you call all of the shots, so you get to decide what your yums are, how you want to feel, how you want to look, and what the photos mean to you. So I think it's a super powerful experience.
It's incredible. You know, I went through a time fairly recently of having some struggles with my body after going through illness and gaining weight, plus the compactedness of aging and what society's pressure is for aging women. And one of the ways I reclaimed my body was by just doing exactly that, was just, taking naked selfies, taking a look. And that is, before the idea of doing any selfies, one of the exercises I gave in my class and that I still give is look at yourself naked in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember that from your class. Actually, I think probably one of the very first boudoir selfies I ever took was homework from your class.
That's right, the body love.
The body love one, because you ask people to take a photo of something you love and then take a photo of something that you don't love about yourself. And the second one is so fucking powerful to be able to take pictures of yourself that you don't like and to sit with them and to process it and sit with the negative feeling and then work through it and keep asking why. Like, why do I feel like this? Why do I not like this photo? Well, why don't I like that certain thing about this photo? And then it all comes down to something you learned somewhere along the way, and you can choose to keep holding on to that, or you can make the decision to let that feeling go and to learn a new thought about your body.
Totally. And that is something, that you can do at home by yourself. Start the journey right there. And that's a beautiful mixture of what Misty and I do. Right? I would say that exercise has really mixed the essence of what we both teach.
Yeah. And if you really want to do self-portraits and you're itching and you want to do it like right now, check out this video. That shows you how.
Take a look. There's so much going on. So let's talk a little bit about the transformation that others have been experiencing through our work.
Yeah, let's start with you, because you transformed me.
Aww.
Look, you made me. She made this monster.
She came right out of my vagina. No, she didn't. Just my metaphorical vagina.
Your heart vagina.
My heart vagina.
Yeah.
It's here and it's also here.
This video is going to get demonetized. YouTube! Woo! Oh well. You want to talk about your transformations?
Okay, so what has been, as I said, for me, this is lifeblood. Seeing people come in with their vulnerability, with their nervousness, because very few people get into adulthood feeling comfortable in their skin. This is just the reality. And it doesn't matter. I know everybody in their brain are like, oh, they see that person, like she or he, oh, they have their life together. They're amazing. You've probably watched Misty's videos and you think, oh, Misty's never had a negative thought about her body, ever, ever, ever. Or maybe you watch mine and say the same thing. That is total and complete bullshit.
Bullshit.
We come through with a lot of fucking baggage. I've only had a couple people come through my classes in 13 years who haven't had a deep amount of wounding around their bodies.
All bodies.
All bodies.
Every single body. Nobody is exempt
Skinny,
from this.
fat, old, young, disabled, fully abled bodies, whatever, right? All the bodies, all colors, everything. We all have deep wounding. And so for me to watch people go through transformation and go from a state of like, I'm really worried. And usually that comes out as little things rather than the full amount of internal critic, which is like, I'm shitty, I'm ugly, I'm blah, 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 blah. You hear something like, maybe I'm too fluffy to do this. Right? Maybe I'm just not the right shape, or maybe I'm too skinny to do this. I don't have anything to shake. Right? Those little bits. And then you see them go through, say, the 10 weeks of my classes, or go through a boudoir photography with you, or come through our retreat even, right? In a few short days and come out the other side. And I would say the biggest thing for me is to see the ease. That suddenly there is this beautiful ease in just how they're feeling in their skin. And a permission.
I was just thinking that word. That's really creepy. I had just like this moment where my brain clicked and I was like, you know what? I think it's just people getting permission for the first time to either just express what they're feeling, to recognize it, to feel into it, and then move through it. Like it's just that permission to do that.
Totally. To both sit in the discomfort of like, I don't feel comfortable in my body, or I don't feel comfortable in myself right now, and just be held in that space, not it being right or wrong. And then also have permission to be like, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
In my imperfection. I'm okay in my humanness.
Not judge yourself for it.
Yeah. So that's been my experience. And I've seen remarkable teaching in this way for over 13 years now. I've seen people like Misty who have like their whole lives have changed. This is now their career. They're out there doing this shit in the world. And then people who maybe it's not as obvious, but who like they're like, I have sex with the lights on now. I go to a naked beach. I wear sexy clothing that I love because I'm no longer worried about my squish or my cellulite. Or I just walked into the bank like a motherfucker and
boss,
right, and got that loan because I was like, I'm not shrinking from anybody. Yeah.
It's just that permission to sit in your body a little bit taller.
Yeah.
And to just hold yourself with that like confidence.
So what is your experience with your clients? Like what have you been seeing?
Almost the exact same thing. Yeah, I think it's just because you have that space in that container that is giving people that like, yes, you can be here and feel this and express this and move through it in a safe way. And then they take that feeling with them that they have during the photo shoot day, and it just becomes a little seed of who they are, and it just becomes like a little part of them. And for the whole week after, they'll like walk a little bit taller, but then even like months or years later, that's always still there. Like you're just planting seeds.
Yeah.
And people will either choose to sow those seeds and keep watering them.
Yeah.
And so they grow into bigger plants and bigger ideas and bigger feelings and bigger thoughts and feelings.
And breaking out of the structure, right?
Yeah.
Those seeds allow us to break out of the structure, which is, it is a structure that is very well thought out, implemented to keep us small and to keep us, dishing out our dollars because we're always feeling like we're not enough.
Yeah, and if you are constantly thinking about your body and how not enough you are, you're not thinking about ways that you can change the world or feel better or be bigger and take up more space and reclaim your power back. So they do it on purpose, and it's so frustrating. That is such an understatement to move through that and try to break those walls down.
And I would say as another little exercise to give you from this video, another little takeaway is just throughout a day, just notice how much you're thinking about your body.
Oh my God, yes.
Just take note. And then think about what it would be like if if you were not thinking those thoughts.
Yeah, I still do that. I still think about my body way too much, and I recognize that I do it.
Yeah.
And it's that active body neutrality, which I talked about in my last video on YouTube, which is just trying to like make those, like, not think those thoughts. You don't have to not think them because it's impossible. They're natural, but not give them any weight and not allow them to hold anything with you. You can just recognize them and be like, that's a thought. I don't want to listen to it right now. And then just kind of move on instead of letting that thought impact your day negatively.
Totally. And I would say that's pulling in some tantra, some spirituality, is the idea in meditation is that we don't fight the monkey brain. We don't fight the idea that the thoughts are coming in. We just let them come in and we let them flow out. Yeah, they just don't mean anything.
Yeah.
You don't put any attachment. And it is the attachment and the story we create around the attachment that creates suffering for us.
Yeah.
So we can let them come in and go out. And it's not going to create this suffering if we're in that space of neutrality. Right? And if we have, what I always kind of, I'm a lover of body neutrality and body love, and I think neutrality is necessary to get to body love.
Yeah.
Right?
The middle ground.
Totally. So if you've got the body neutrality of just like, oh, I'm just going to let it come in, I'm going to let it go out, and then you reinforce that with an idea, with a strong idea, even if it's not about your body first, but bodies are inherently lovable and good, every single body. Oh, and that must mean my body too. And it doesn't actually have to look away. It doesn't have to look or act in any way. They are inherently good, worthwhile, and lovable.
Yeah.
And then find evidence. Go find evidence about how all bodies are good. Like, go change up your fucking social media feeds so you got a variety of bodies rather than one cookie cutter type of body, which your body will never be.
Yeah. And also just trying to, with time, after you get used to body neutrality, trying to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. And this is a hard one, especially if you've spent your whole life talking negatively to your body. So the way I like to trick my brain is I like to talk to my body like it's a puppy. Like it's really soft.
Nice.
And like puppies are really lovely when they're soft and squishy. So you look at them and you're like, you're so soft and squishy.
I love
And then
you.
if you just like flip that around and you look at your tummy and you're like, you're so soft and squishy. Like it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You start to trick your brain into thinking that, hey, my body's really cute. It's really nice.
It's nice. This feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So if you guys resonated with this video and you liked what we were talking about bodies and burlesque and boudoir
Boobs.
and boobs, and you are ready to work on something a little bit deeper and you're not quite feeling like you want to do it by yourself, I highly recommend you check out our website, let's restart. Check out our website, bearsoulretreats.ca, and you can come work with us if you want to.
We would love to have you.
Yeah.
Come away with us. Come to Magic Land with us, where everything's boobs and butts and body love.
And giggles.
And peeing outside.
Not again. Rosie's big on the peeing outside train.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. You'll know more at the retreat.
All right. Thank you so much for watching our video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
All those things. Love you. Okay, bye.